Hello there, fellow YouTubers and ship geeks alike. This is your old friend Common Urban here, and I've got with you a very special book review. And you're probably thinking, but you say every book's a special book review. Well, yes, if I give it to you, yes it is. So, Joey! It's just my dog, I'm sorry, he's just a little yapping little thing. Anyway, I want to give to you a book review by a book written by Diana Preston. And the last book I did of hers was the children's book that she wrote of the Lusitania disaster called Remember the Lusitania. But this one here is her magnum opus of the disaster, the one that's been acclaimed as one of the best reads for the disaster, Lusitania, an Epic Tragedy. Now this book here basically outlines everything of that final voyage, from leaving of New York, throughout the crossing, to the torpedoing of the ship, to the sinking, and to the survivors landing in Queenstown, and all the investigations into it afterwards. And this is actually a very detailed book, very, very, very detailed book. And if you don't read all the notes and stuff, like I read the notes, just to figure out where all the stuff came from. But if you don't read the notes and all that, and just read all the main stuff, it's about 456 pages without the notes and sources. So it's a very comprehensive book on the disaster. And I actually would like to read this little... Joey! Sorry, he barks at everything. But I'd like to read to you this little bit about the book here. So it says, on May 7th, 1915, toward the end of her 101st eastbound crossing from New York to Liverpool, England, RMS Lusitania, pride of the Cunard Line and one of the greatest ocean liners afloat, became the target of a terrifying new weapon and casualty of a terrible new kind of war. Sunk off the southern coast of Ireland by a torpedo fired from a German submarine U-20, she exploded and sank in 18 minutes, taking with her some 1,200 people, more than half of the passengers and crew. Cold-blooded, deliberate, and unpredicted in the annals of war, the sinking of the Lusitania shocked the world and also jolted the United States out of its neutrality. 120 Americans were among the dead and hastened the nation's entry into World War I. In her riveting account of this enormous and controversial tragedy, Diana Preston recalls both a pivotal moment in history and a remarkable human drama. The story of the Lusitania is a window in the maritime world of the early 20th century. The heyday of the luxury liner, the first days of the modern submarine, and the climax of the decades-long German-British rivalry for supremacy on the Atlantic. It is a critical chapter in the progress of World War I, and in political biographies of Woodrow Wilson, William Jennings Bryan, Kaiser Wilhelm II, First Lord of the Admiralty, Winston Churchill. Above all, it is the story of the passengers and crew on that fateful voyage, a story of heroism and cowardice, of self-sacrifice and heroism, of death and miraculous survival. With a historian's insight and a novelist's gift for characterization and detail, Preston recreates the events surrounding the Lusitania's last voyage, from the behind-the-scenes politics in each country and the German spying in New York, to the extraordinary scene of the ship sank and the survivors awaited rescue, to the controversial inquest in Britain and the United States into how the ship came to be hit and why she sank so quickly. Captain William Turner, steadfast and trustworthy, but overconfident, believed that a torpedo can't get the Lusitania. She runs too fast. The passenger list included the rich and powerful, American millionaire Alfred Vanderbilt, theater producer Charles Frohman, Boston bookseller Charles Lariat, as well as newlyweds and nursemaids, galley cooks and stokers, quarters and card sharps, the detectives and German stowaways. Preston weaves their voices throughout her compelling narrative, giving it powerful immediacy. Drawing on a vast array of sources, including interviews with survivors, letters, and memoirs, recently released American and commemorative documents, and previously untranslated German documents, Diana Preston has resolved the controversies surrounding the Lusitania and written a definitive account of its pivotal history in Western history. Shh! Hush! Knife! Sorry, my dogs are barking again. I'm sorry. Knife! Shh! I'm sorry, they're barking too badly. I'm sorry. Anywho, it is actually a very good book, and I'll actually read you a little part of it here so you can kind of get a taste at what happened here. Right here. This is actually a little part here about Schwalter getting ready to fire the torpedo here. It says, at 2:10 p.m., Schnabel gave the order to fire. With a shudder and a hiss, the heavy missile went surging through the water from the bow torpedo tube, unleashing a trail of bubbles. So the torpedo had been shot. No! Be quiet. Sorry. Right here, here's another one here. That's crazy. Up in the crow's nest, Hennessy heard a shout as Tom Quinn, the starboard lookout, yelled, "Here's a torpedo coming, Frank!" The two men leapt from the rigging and began scrambling down, shouting warnings as they went. Hearing Quinn's cry, Second Officer Percy Hefford grabbed his binoculars, saw the telltale traces in the water. Within seconds, he gave the order for the closure of all the watertight doors. Albert Bestick, coming out of his cabin onto the decks and still buttoned up his old uniform, also heard the warnings. He could see a lengthening streak of white bubbles forming, heading straight for the ship. His one thought was, this was the approach of death. Just the way that she words this account here with all of these different people and stuff here, it basically, what the book does, it puts you right there on the deck of the ship as the torpedo's coming your way and hits the starboard side of the vessel, and puts you there as the ship lurches in the water, bow first, going on her side, going downward, and it puts you into that chaotic mess. And there's not that many authors that could do that, and Diana Preston does this with this book. Now, I've read many books about the Lusitania, but this one here is probably one of the most gripping books I've read. And so for my review, I will give this book a solid 10. Because, like I've said, it takes a very special, unique person to have the gift to write about history. But to make history so compelling, it draws you in and puts you right there on the scene like you're actually there. Diana Preston does it with this book. And I have to say, if you really want to read a good book about the Lusitania disaster, read Lusitania, An Epic Tragedy by Diana Preston. She's also the author of The Boxer Rebellion, which is also another good book. So I hope you enjoyed my review, and if you did, give it a thumbs up. And I'm sorry, like I said, about my dogs barking. They don't know when to hush. They're Yorkies. Joey! They're itty-bitty Yorkies. They don't know when to hush. They bark at everything. So if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button for me. If you got any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below. And if you like my channel, hit subscribe. Until next time, this is your old friend Colin Urban saying have smooth seas and clear skies and happy sailing with you.